The phone screen glowed in the dark, casting a cold blue light across my face as I sat frozen on the edge of our bed. It was 2:17 a.m., and the notification, a single text from an unknown number, burned into my retinas. Tell her the truth, Mark. She deserves to know. My thumb hovered over the screen, trembling, as my heart slammed against my ribs. Who sent this? What truth? The house was silent, save for the faint creak of the floorboard settling, but it felt like the walls themselves were holding their breath, waiting for me to unravel the lie I didn't yet understand. Lila slept soundly beside me, her breath soft and even, her dark hair spilling across the pillow like ink. I stared at her, my wife of 7 years, searching her peaceful face for answers. The text wasn't meant for her. She didn't even know my phone was unlocked, buzzing silently in my hand. But the words clawed at me, sharp and insidious, like a splinter burrowing deeper with every second I tried to ignore them. I deleted the message, my fingers moving on instinct, but the words lingered, seeping into my thoughts like poison. I told myself it was a mistake, a wrong number, some cruel prank. But doubt, that quiet predator, had already sunk its teeth into me. The next morning, the kitchen smelled of burnt toast and fresh coffee, a familiar chaos that usually grounded me. Lila stood at the counter, her back to me, slicing strawberries with quick, precise flicks of the knife. The sunlight streaming through the window caught the glint of her wedding ring. And for a moment, I could almost pretend last night's text never happened. "You're up late," she said without turning, her voice light but edged with something I couldn't place. Was it irritation? Suspicion? I forced a laugh, too loud in the small space. "Rough night," I said, pouring coffee I didn't want. Her knife paused mid-slice, just for a second, before resuming its rhythm. I watched the blade, transfixed, as it cut through the fruit's soft flesh. I tried to focus on work that day, but my office felt claustrophobic, the hum of the air conditioner too loud, the fluorescent lights too harsh. The text replayed in my mind, each word a puzzle piece that didn't fit. Tell her the truth. What truth? I hadn't cheated, hadn't lied, at least, not about anything big enough to warrant this. Sure, there were small things. The late nights I claimed were work but were really drinks with coworkers, the credit card charges I glossed over as work expenses. But those were nothing, just the usual friction of marriage, weren't they? I opened my phone, scrolling through old messages, call logs, anything that might explain the text. Nothing stood out, but the unease grew, a low hum in my chest that wouldn't quiet. That evening, Lila was different. She sat across from me at dinner, her fork pushing roasted potatoes around her plate, her eyes distant. "You okay?" I asked, my voice too casual, betraying the knot in my stomach. She looked up, her green eyes sharp, searching. "Are you okay, Mark?" she countered, her tone soft but heavy, like a stone dropped into still water. I nodded, my mouth dry, and changed the subject to the neighbor's dog barking too late. She didn't push, but her silence felt like a spotlight, exposing cracks I hadn't noticed before. Days passed, and the text became a ghost haunting every quiet moment. I started noticing things, small stupid things. The way Lila's phone was always face down now, how she'd stop mid-sentence when I entered a room, her laughter a little too bright when she talked to her coworker, Ben, on the phone. Ben, with his easy smile and late-night texts about work projects. I told myself I was paranoid, that the mystery text was twisting my thoughts. But the seed of doubt had taken root, sprouting tendrils that wrapped around every interaction. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. Lila was in the shower, the bathroom door ajar, steam curling into the hallway. Her phone sat on the nightstand unlocked, a rare lapse in her new habit of guarding it. My pulse thundered as I picked it up, my fingers slick with sweat. I opened her messages, scrolling past group chats and grocery lists, until I saw Ben's name. The thread was long, too long, filled with emojis and late-night banter that felt too intimate, too familiar. One message, dated 3 days ago, stopped me cold. "I can't keep pretending, Lila. It's killing me." My vision blurred, the words swimming on the screen. I wanted to scream, to throw the phone, but I stood there, paralyzed, as the shower shut off. Lila emerged, a towel wrapped around her, her hair dripping onto the hardwood. She saw me with her phone, and her face shifted, shock then guilt, then defiance, all in a heartbeat. What are you doing? She asked, her voice low, dangerous. I held up the phone, my hand shaking. What's this, Lila? What's Ben talking about? She froze, her eyes darting to the screen, then back to me. For a moment, I thought she'd lie, but then her shoulders slumped, and she sat on the bed, her face crumpling like paper. It's not what you think, she said, her voice breaking. Ben, he's in love with me. Has been for months. I didn't know how to tell you. My chest tightened, the air too thick to breathe. Did you? I couldn't finish the question, but she knew. She shook her head, tears spilling down her cheeks. No, Mark. I swear. I didn't do anything. I didn't stop him either. Her words cut deeper than I expected, each one a blade slicing through 7 years of trust. I wanted to believe her, but the text from the unknown number echoed in my mind. Tell her the truth. Was this it? Or was there more? The fight that followed was a blur of accusations and denials, our voices rising until the neighbors must have heard. You're sleeping in the guest room until you apologize, she spat, her face flushed with anger and hurt. I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. Apologize? For what? You're the one hiding things. But as I stormed out, her phone still clutched in my hand, another text came through from the unknown number. You're both lying to yourselves. My blood ran cold. This wasn't about Ben. It wasn't even about Lila. The truth, whatever it was bigger, darker, and it was closing in. I lay awake in the guest room, the mattress too firm, the air too still. Lila's words, Ben's messages, the anonymous texts, they swirled in my mind, a storm with no center. I thought of the late nights I'd spent with my coworker, Sarah, her laughter too warm, her hand lingering too long on my arm. Had I crossed a line I didn't see? Had someone else seen it? The phone buzzed again, and I opened it, my heart in my throat. Another message, this time a photo. Me and Sarah at a bar, her head tilted toward mine. Our smiles too close. The caption read, "She's not the only one, Mark." The room spun, the walls pressing in. I hadn't cheated, not really, but the photo told a different story, one I couldn't deny. Lila's betrayal, my own flirtations, the anonymous texter. They were all threads in a web I'd helped weave. I stared at the ceiling, the truth crashing over me like a wave. We'd both been unfaithful in our own ways, not with our bodies but with our hearts, letting cracks form in the foundation of our marriage. The real betrayal wasn't the texts or the secrets. It was the moment we stopped choosing each other.